Perhaps the rot is the memories, the wear and tear of the voyages, the wood touched by Theseus himself.
Hey!
Dramatic.
We're recording the podcast!
Marvel.
Shut up!
And good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning Somewhere!
for August 14th, 2025. My name is Bertie Burns, sitting right over there. She is not going fishing today. It's too hot for her.
Too hot.
I'm going fishing today. I'm going fishing later today. It's a very hot day in Scotland.
I'll be in the shade judging quietly.
Are you going to come down to the fishing beat and watch us fish?
Only if I can also judge.
Oh, judging is all part of it. Yeah, we judge each other very harshly all the time when we're down there. Teddy and his friends are in town, so we're going to go do some fishing today. He doesn't have the full crew. The biggest crew he ever had here was 8 people, and he's got 4 here total this time. So it's good, though, because we have...
Still respectable numbers, but easier to fit in a pub.
Easier to fit in a pub. That is true. It's easier to get a booking last minute at the pub. Teddy has finished his training to be an electrician, his certifications, and then he goes into apprenticeship from here. But as soon as he landed in Scotland from traveling, 29 hours, I immediately put him to work rewiring a lamp.
Right, like, here's a lamp. This needs to be rewired. I'm going to need you to install a light bar over here on this, because this...
Right, on my Polaris, we have like a ATV that we use to go around the place, and it had a light bar on the front, and a couple... It has like 60 LEDs in it or something like that. And 3 of the LEDs went out like in the first month. And I was like, hey, what's up with this? What's up? So they sent me a replacement. And I thought, well, that just seemed like a free light bar to me. So now we put one on the back and had Teddy wire it up. So wire it up. I hate automotive electrical systems. And it's so great to go, you do it.
You do this.
You're the trained professional. You do it.
That's what all this education was all about.
You know what I've been trying to? He blazed through Project Hail Mary.
It was amazing. I saw he was reading it over breakfast the other morning, and I said, "Oh, you're reading Project Hail Mary? That's really great." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm going to try and read 100 pages per day." And I said, "You're going to love it. It's going to be so great." And he read the whole book.
Yep.
He is out of his 100 page per day goal, he got like 350 pages, whatever it was. He didn't stop until he finished the book. He's now lent it to one of his friends and keeps going, have you started Hail Mary yet? Liam.
Oh, Liam's reading it.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
And I had to point out that we have multiple copies, so if he wants, he can spread the word to everyone.
Liam's got a big day. Liam is the only one so far who has landed a full-on salmon. He banked a salmon. It was pretty dope.
Right. So a lot of pressure, going to be a lot of judging.
Yeah. So it'll be fun. I've been because we've been doing airport runs with Teddy, both to pick him up and then to go back a few days later to get all the guys. We've been listening. I've been trying to get him into Dungeon Crawler Carl in the car.
I love
listening
it.
to the audiobook. We're listening to book 1 again, which I love too, because I'm going back and listening to book 1 of the series.
It's one of those series that after having binged the whole series now multiple times, I'm always trying to put it on where someone might listen to it and then go, what's this? This is really great. And they'll be like, oh, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Dungeon Crawler Carl? And try to just get more people into it. Whether it's their genre or not, I put it on my dad's in the car and he's like, what is this shit?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the fantasy is a tough sell. And I'm going to say it, even though I'm not a big believer in pigeonholing stuff. The genre lit RPG, every time there's a discussion about that or we talk about it, it just reminds me, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, because it reminds me so much of how much we talked about fucking machinima at the beginning of Red versus Blue. And it doesn't matter that much. You know what I mean? It's you don't constantly say that something is animated over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and for something like Dungeon Crawler Carl as well, I feel like it's also shifted genres. I feel like it started very much in the hard lit RPG genre, which involves...
It's a gateway.
Yes, which involves laying out the stats and the leveling up and the game mechanics, and then it says, okay, you understand all this, you've got it, and can kind of hand wave a lot of the technical stuff after that, and then focus on the expanding story and conflict and narrative, and a lot of the game is now just framework. Right, for the story that's taking place within, and I love that about it. I love that every new book that comes out in the series it grows and becomes something even bigger.
I dated a girl one time. Everything that she didn't like was a cartoon. She like The Matrix was a cartoon. Got to a point where I learned like what classified as being a cartoon to her. And I would think she would describe Dungeon Crawler Carl as a cartoon.
Probably.
They have like spells and stuff. That's a cartoon. That's the way she would describe it. But it's been great to listen to it. Crazy stat I just read about the series is that every book in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, every audiobook is now charting in the Audible top 50.
And well deserved. Honestly, first of all, that's amazing that there are 7 audiobooks out currently. So for all 7 of them to be in the top 50, they're taking up a pretty high percentage of those numbers.
Let me check my math on that. 7 out of 7. That is 100%, Ashley.
No, I mean they're a good percentage of the 50. But
the frequency of DCC on the top 50 is high.
Yeah, no, it is well deserved as well because those are hands down the best produced audiobooks I've ever heard.
Yeah, Sound Booth Theater does those. And it's the narrator is the head of the company as well, Jeff Hayes, who does, I mean, just go ahead and call it every voice in the series. It's what, like 99.5% of all the voices?
A cameo here and there.
Yeah.
But no, he's all the voices. And a lot of people, I feel like when you just listen to it casually, don't realize that because...
That's a point of discovery, for sure.
Yeah, it's
what?
fantastic. So
yeah. All the women, too, yeah.
So well-deserved, in my opinion.
Ghosts and the bugs and everything is one dude. Yeah, it's really impressive, really impressive. And our old friend... Maud Garrett, did you see she recently moderated a panel at Comic-Con?
I did, yeah. So she did a panel with, I want to say it was Dinneman and Hayes at Comic-Con. And she also, I think, talked to Andy Weir.
He was on the same panel.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I love to see that. And she's so enthusiastic about all that with her book club that she runs and everything that it was like the perfect fit.
If you like just the general category of nerdy kind of stuff, role-playing games, sci-fi books, fantasy books.
If you're on that nerd shit, check it out.
Yeah, Maud Garrett would definitely be a person to follow. Absolutely. It's funny because let me look this up, actually. This ties in well to something I saw yesterday on the subreddit. So we were talking about comedy yesterday.
Yes.
And how years ago, we did improv classes with the employees at Rooster Teeth. That was years ago. That was like 2010 that we did that. But they were very nervous about doing stand-up comedy. And somebody wrote, CJ Irving on the subreddit wrote, I've been doing stand-up for almost 4 years, and the first thing anyone ever tells me is, quote, oh, I could never do that, and tell me how terrifying it is. So I believe the backlash that Burnie had after trying to force people to do it. How dare you force? Trying to help people grow. I thought it was interesting them talking about how impressive crowd work in particular is, when I feel like the vibe I get from other comics is that crowd work is seen as, quote, easy or cheap laughs to get versus other forms of comedy. And I gotta say, I would never tell anybody that their art is easy or cheap. And also something can be easy or cheap to one person and it can still be entertaining, right?
Sure.
And I love a lot of the crowd work stuff. But I gotta say, I get where that sentiment comes from, because we were just talking about a panel at Comic-Con. We did dozens, if not hundreds, of panels over the life of Rooster Teeth. And sometimes we'd be doing it for 5,000 people. And that's a huge commitment to entertain a giant room like that. And to me, crowd work is basically, when people are afraid of that, I watched all the people that we work with do that every single time we had a panel, because the Q&A portion of a panel is basically crowd work. You're taking prompts from the audience and then making something entertaining out of it. And in fact, I get the sentiment of it being cheap, because there would be times I would show up from the booth, I'd be running to the panel, and I'd be like, what are we showing at the panel? What are we doing at the panel? And somebody would say, we're just going to do a Q&A for an hour. And I would say, no, we're not doing a Q&A for an hour. That's like expecting the audience to carry everything for us. So to me, it felt cheap whenever anyone wanted to do just a Q&A. I always hated that.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, for me, it almost feels like not an entirely different discipline, but a little bit, right? There's a difference between putting together a really tight set where you've You've probably worked a lot of these jokes. You've probably done them and seen, what the crowd responds to, and massaged them, fixed things up, changed where things go to make sure that you have like the best possible flow. Like there's a lot of like engineering that goes into a comedy set, right? Whereas if you're doing crowd work, it's saying that I'm going to just ask this person, what do they do for a living? And I'm going to assume that I can make something funny out of that. And so I feel like they're almost like they're related. They're both involve like quick thinking and wit and, holding a lens up to the world in an amusing way. But one is like having the confidence that I can do this on the fly.
Right.
And for me, that's one of those things that if they can make it look easy, it's not.
Yeah, and I always think of Stavros as being the most well-known modern example of crowd work, but probably Jimmy Carr, like globally, is probably better known, and he's really good at it. Like I don't know that I've ever seen the stand-up portion of either of their acts. I've only ever seen the crowd work portion of it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's 100% crowd work. They just show up with nothing and go like, all right, what do we got? Let's do this.
And go, we're doing a Q&A. Let's do it.
But a big part of it is, and this is easier, it's easier for British audiences where you can take the piss, or you're in a small comedy club with people who are out at night having a lot of drinks.
Sitting in the front row, waiting to get roasted.
Yeah, like a shit-talking audience, whatever. I've seen Stab take it too far, and I'm thinking, man, back off of this dude. It's one of those things, even like afterwards, you're like, why'd you post this video, dude? It's like you're being...
You watched this back and decided, yeah, upload it?
Talking a lot about your relationship with your dad in this. He really does. But it's not the same audience at a convention. It's not. And so I would have to make a disclaimer a lot of times, like when we were at PAX, literally like 5,000, 6,000 people in that main theater. And I would say, look, there's 5,000 people in this room. We have an obligation to entertain everybody here, not just whoever just happens to get up to the mic first. If you go up to the mic, you are part of the show at that point. I have to make that disclaimer right now because I didn't want anyone to ever feel bad or sad or whatever. We got to make something funny about it. And there's nothing worse. We can all relate to this. If you've ever seen a panel, there's nothing that takes the wind out of your sails faster than just they let someone go too long. Like someone gets to the mic and doesn't have a question. They just like tell like a 5-minute story about nothing or whatever. And everyone is just sitting there. You can see the energy just draining out of the room. Yeah. Not going to happen at a comedy club.
No. But it's like, I have a lot of sympathy with people who get up to the mic. And it's probably a lot like anyone who's seen, say they've been watching a panel and you're talking and it's all very comfortable and everyone is having a great time. And you go, I can talk too. Or, you see like the crowd work people and it just seems like it's going to be easy. And then you get up there and then the mic is waiting for you and 5,000 pairs of eyes turn to pay attention and your brain shuts off.
Yes.
And it abandons you. Everything, like you may have had something planned, you had something you want to say, and then it's gone. Everything is gone. You've been abandoned and you're just a hollow husk of a person standing there with a mic. That's hard.
You're triggering so many memories over here. Like somebody would get up there and it would either be the first person, which it's usually a line of like 30 people, 2 mics on either side. Big, long line. You see people like dying to say something, and the person gets up there and they say, okay, Q&A, let's start the Q&A. Everybody line up. And then we do a couple more things up on stage. And they say, okay, ready for the Q&A. Let's go. First person over here. What do you got? And then they go, what was I going to ask? And it's like, dude,
I need you to stop right now.
I know, right? Exactly. And you're feeling that cork, like the drain coming out of the tub. You're watching the energy drain out of the room. And I'm like, this wasn't mandatory. Like you weren't required to come up to the mic. That wasn't necessary,
No, I know, but that's the thing is the intention is never to be the guy draining the energy out of the room. The intention is to like ask something witty and it's going to be fun and I'm going to interact. and then you're betrayed by yourself.
Yeah, or they try a bit or something like that. Some of the most famous like things that the audience like berating the other members of the audience are like bits they tried at a Q&A session that just fell flat. But ultimately, that's great over time. Ultimately, that's great.
Right. That's the kind of comedy it's not funny then, but it's funny later.
Yeah, exactly. Like me falling off the Tony Hawk skateboard. It's like, that was really embarrassing and stupid. And yeah, we went and posted it anyway. Like 6 million views later. It's like,
I don't know,
it's
man.
funny.
You're talking a lot about your relationship with your dad.
You know, my dad never taught me how to use a skateboard. Must be really nice. Your dad sounds like a great guy. But yeah, so let me just ask you this, in wrapping up about the Q&A thing,
Okay.
like being cheap or not, or crowd work being cheap. Let me say, you've done a lot of panels, right?
Yes.
Did you ever get to the Q&A portion and thought, oh, fuck, this is going to be super hard?
No.
No, because then you're like, okay, we're going to answer questions.
No, okay. All right. Point made.
Yeah.
Point made.
Yeah, you get to that point and it's like, oh, man. Like if you had a choice of, I got to do 5 minutes by myself up there presenting a video and talking about a specific topic, or I got to do questions from the audience. Questions from the audience is always way easier. Way easier.
I guess that's true. I mean, it depends on like what my 5 minutes is on. Is it on Dungeon Crawler Carl? Because I can do that.
Go ahead. Have you made your way back through the series yet?
I've read and then listened to it now several times, and it's fun because I keep picking up on things that when they initially enter the narrative, they aren't super important or super developed. They're almost throwaways. But now that I know what some of those things grow into, it's really fun to then watch them and chart their progress much more carefully than I did the first time around.
I always had advice for writers, which was if you don't have to say a number, don't say a number, because numbers are hard. They're hard facts. And numbers, for whatever reason, stick in people's heads. So if you say like, man, I haven't seen you in 2 weeks, you just set up a window of time and you cannot change that ever. You can't tell a story within that period, that whole that's greater than 2 weeks or whatever. And it's funny because I was just listening back to the first book and Mordecai is talking about his trip. This is not a spoiler in any way, I don't think. His trip through the dungeon when he did it. And he says, I was up to 30 million viewers or 30 million followers. And I go, that's not a number that makes sense for what I know later about that character.
But it is for what you know later about that character because of when he did his crawl.
That's probably true. Probably. That's it. That's a good rationalization. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, in reality is you're writing something at that point in time. You have no idea exactly where it's going to go. That's what makes numbers hard. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once you say a number, you're locked in, right?
Right. And then it's like, what are you going to do about it? But one of the things that I like about that series is that it moves away from the numbers over time. It goes, you get it. His strength is high.
Yeah.
Right. It's good. You punch things, they go squish.
They go squish and that's it. I mean, even in the first book, it says, he makes the comment, you're now as strong as almost any human that's ever lived. Right. That's like in the first 20 minutes of the audiobook. So you can imagine where it goes from there. What a great series that is, man. Just a tremendous series.
Let's just I don't want to, I could do a whole 5 minutes on Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I'll just say instead, it's in the top 50 on Audible for a reason.
Yeah.
Highly recommend checking it out if you have not yet.
All right, let's go to our next question over here. Hi, is that what my voice sounds like?
Stop. No, it's not. None of our voice sounds like this.
Everyone who's ever watched a Roosh Teeth panel is now waiting for me to eat the mic. The most famous guy in the history of Roosh Teeth panels.
No, what we do now is we move on to...
You want to have fun? Go watch, I think it's Matt Bragg and Jeff Ramsey when they were invited to Minecon. I don't think they have control of whether or not that video is still online. So it's probably still online. And watching them answer questions at Minecon, which, by the way, was the official Minecraft convention. I think Achievement Hunter might have been a bad fit for that convention. Just going to go ahead and say that.
I think the audiences were slightly different.
I get why they went. I just think they might not have been the best fit for that audience in particular.
Well, look, buddy, hindsight's 20/20, okay?
That is like we talked yesterday about you never see the comedians in the, Thursday afternoon with the drunks in the small, 3-person comedy club. Go watch that video. You'll get a full dose of it. We'll play a game. How long can you make it through that video? How long can you make it? I think I've watched 5% of it. 5% of it, maybe.
Ouch. Ooh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And I wanted to laugh at them. I was going in with spite. that couldn't sustain it.
No,
I couldn't sustain it.
Speaking of spite, though, and this is also a classic Rooster Teeth topic about tech, right? What is it that possesses computer cables to tangle on their own with no interference from another human. Is it spite?
Are you making fun of me? Because
A little bit.
I just got a uninterrupted power supply for my PC upstairs because we had
You're
some
welcome.
power issues. Yeah. We had some power issues last week. But for some reason, the PC didn't go out. Like, the lights would flicker, but the PC never died. Like, it should get like a momentary nothing.
It must have had enough of a, I don't know, magical energy buffer that it could make it through a blip as long as it was very minor.
Right. And so I got a UPS and I went under there. You have to go under your desk. What would you say? Like once every 3 months, unplug everything, straighten all the cables out so they're not tangled, and then plug them back in. And then they will just fucking tangle again.
Right, it's not like you've plugged in anything new.
Nothing.
You haven't been picking up the monitor and like rotating it to make sure everything gets that like good tangle.
Right.
What?
You're not juggling your PC tower and your monitor in your hands. Right.
Right. Like, how do they do that without any interference from a person? Are they possessed? Haunted?
It's like the cords took a knot tying course down at the marina to figure out how to make these knots that I could never make intentionally in my life. Like I could never make somehow an extension cord or like a outlet plug into a grappling hook that latches onto everything.
Everything.
It's insane. What is that? What is that phenomenon? Nothing goes on behind my desk. Nothing.
Right. You never go back there. Like no one, like the cat doesn't even go back there. It's no one is touching that area. How are they doing this?
How? They should stay
It's like a magical
in a
force.
straight line next to each other. That's it. Nothing happens. But somehow, just by virtue of being next to each other, they get completely tangled.
You've been having some other tech issues as well, right? You've been having issues with your watch specifically.
Well, it is getting close to the new Apple products announcement, so they might be pushing that button. Like that guy who walks in.
Push that like make battery bad button.
I don't know if this is true or not, but it's in my head it's true. There's a dude who works at Apple. He's in an office. The only thing in his office is a dial. It starts at 100, and every day he turns it down a little bit. And that's all of our batteries going down as we get closer to the new one. And then when he watches whoever the CEO is these days, Tim Cook or whatever, when he announces the new phone, he goes, okay, back to 100.
Turns it up.
Yeah. For the new phones.
Right, only for the new phones.
They install a new dial in the office. He's got 800 dials.
It's just a wall.
Fuckers.
And believe it or not, the wires for all of those tangle like you wouldn't believe.
Did you see that video I sent you? I sent you a reel from Instagram where a kid was at a football game.
Yeah,
and
it was weird. So this kid is going around interviewing all of the kids at the school who have Apple Watches, and they're all dead. Like that guy turned all their dials to 0. They just don't charge their watches.
He goes up to every person in the video. He must go to what, like 9, 10 people?
It's a lot of people.
I wouldn't even think that many teenagers in a high school have Apple Watches. Anyway, he goes up to everybody, goes, hey, you got an Apple Watch? They go, yeah, I love my Apple Watch. He goes, what time is it? They go, oh, I don't know. It's not charged right now. They all say the exact same thing because I never charge it. They just wear it as like an accessory and that's
why
it.
would you do that? I mean,
It's like $400.
They're not that good looking. Right?
I know, right?
It's like,
yeah.
I mean, I wear it because I like the stuff it does. I like my big dilemma in keeping it charged is just deciding like when to charge it, because the natural time would be while you're sleeping, but I don't want to do that. I want to wear it while I'm sleeping because I love when it goes, congratulations, you got, 7 hours and 46 minutes of sleep last night. Here's exactly when your deep sleep was. You woke up, these, you had like these 3 little wake spikes, but you were immediately back to sleep. Good on you. I love that. It's so stupid.
Before we go, I have to ask a couple questions here.
Okay.
You're triggering one question, which is, do you have the thing where whatever the device is you have that tracks the activity, that keeps you motivated to do the activity, if the device loses its charge and you can't track like a workout or whatever, do you find like, well, this stuff, I can't do this because I won't be tracking it?
I do. Sometimes I have to I'm going to go like work out on the treadmill or something, but I have to stop and wait and charge my watch.
How dumb is that?
Because I can't go work out without because then I'm not getting the credit for it.
You're not getting credit, right.
And if I'm not getting the credit for it on my stupid watch, then what was even the point?
Yeah.
Health?
Right, you're still getting the exercise, which is the point of the whole thing. But when the watch doesn't work, you're like, oh man, I got to spend 20 minutes charging my watch instead of working out because I need to track my work. How dumb is that? What is that?
No, it's so stupid. Like these things, it should not matter that much, but it does because I love it when it goes, good job afterwards, right? And I love like being able to have this cohesive tracking across everything that I'm doing. It's dumb and it doesn't make any sense and it doesn't make anything better but I have to have it.
The other question I have to ask.
Okay.
We were talking about Audible earlier. This has been in the back of my head forever. Okay. Audible, part of
Amazon. Yeah.
When we lived in Austin, Amazon, you ship stuff to you. We're Prime members. I hate to reveal that about ourselves, but we support the machine. We're Prime members.
We're set when War of the Worlds hits. We're good. We're gonna have solutions.
First in line.
To all our problems.
We get to ask at the Q&A for War of the Worlds. We get to be first. Amazon Prime Day.
Yeah.
Which was an option when we shipped stuff. Do you want it tomorrow or do you want it on Amazon Prime Day?
Or do you want it next Thursday?
Okay, you just hit on it. Our Amazon Prime Day in Austin was Thursday.
Yes.
We moved to Scotland. Our Amazon Prime Day
still Thursday.
Is Thursday. And that's a 1 in 7 shot that we already had one in Austin. So when we moved here, we had a 1 in 7 shot of it being the same day. But I got to ask, is Amazon Prime Day the same for everybody? Is it Thursday for every person? Why did I think it was just us that
I
are
don't
like
know. I mean,
Austin?
I guess I assumed that they would sort of spread the days out for people to, I don't know, even the load on the delivery drivers. And
But wouldn't that just happen naturally?
I mean, I assume it's probably like peaks. If you're getting groceries delivered, it's harder to get them delivered on like Saturday, right? Everyone is doing wants their groceries on like Saturday, Sunday. Like I'm sure there are peak days in there. So maybe Thursday is just a really low traffic day for Amazon.
Ordering stuff on Tuesdays or something? Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe they're all waiting to pull the trigger on that until Friday.
So Thursday's the low point. And just naturally. And so they're trying to get their own day of the week, Ashley.
They want what now? They want their own whole day.
I know. They got their own day on the calendar. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Amazon Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Look forward to that.
Thursday and Amazon MGM day.
Don't say that. I hate that. You know I hate that.
I know.
All right, Ashley, who are our Prime members supporting us today?
All right, big thank you to Prime members TM and Dogman. Thank you both so much for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere.
And thank you for giving us the prompt to make our jobs easier. We appreciate it very much to all of you today. All right, that does it for us. August 14th, 2025. We will be back to talk to you tomorrow, fish in hand. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.